Hi everyone, I'm back again. I've got an update on our travellers in the Northern Territory. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes till I get the notification comes up to tell me that it's live. I'll just wait a couple of minutes. Waiting for Facebook. Okay, so I'll start my update. I've just been in the message box with the travelling nomads in the Northern Territory with a bit of a fight. They've managed to get the decision to go on the cashless debit card reversed because it's very clear in the legislation that visitors are exempt. However, this makes it like, we spoke about this last year, right, with Aboriginal community members visiting Kalgoorlie that were coming into town for ceremonial purposes or for medical stuff, and they have to check in with Centrelink, and instead of being listed as non-permanent, just travellers, they were being put on cashless debit cards. Now this grew out to quite a lot of people that this has happened to. Okay, a sneaky way to try and get more people on the card. We knew that was happening. Then, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I had this other couple that got stuck in Wyndham that were travelling and they've ended up on the cashless debit card. I recommend those people appeal because same thing here, no fixed address. So it's odd that this couple have gone straight into Centrelink and protested, of course, and they've had a conversation and they've managed to get it sorted. The person is not being issued a cashless debit card. Reminded the Centrelink officers of that, sent them the information, right? But the issue is that what they're doing is absolutely, it's illegal, all right? So basically what people need to do is, A, if you're travelling, don't tell Centrelink where you're travelling to if you're in a card region. B, it means that if you're booking into a caravan park, don't try and claim that rent assistance or any other remote payment, right? Just make do with what you've got, because the minute you go to your Centrelink, someone's going to try and bang you onto a card. And unless you know your rights and you know the legislation and you know that as a visitor that doesn't apply to you, right, you could end up stuck. That's the bottom line here, okay? They spoke to somebody very nice from Centrelink, understood their predicament, but it took an hour for them to sort it all out, and her contacting different departments. And the end solution was to have their addresses listed as no fixed abode, right, with a postal town as whatever, you know what I mean, but not in the card region. So the whole Northern Territory is a card region. So if you're going travelling to the Northern Territory, right, and you're doing the caravanning trip around the country, make sure that you are listed as no fixed address and your postal address is outside a card area, back wherever. Do you know what I mean? The outcome means that you cannot claim any rent assistance while you're travelling, because it'll happen again. The minute you go into Centrelink to do something, bingo, you'll be put on the card. Even though their own website clearly states that visitors are exempt. It's automatic, okay? And it's just disgusting to, you know, so advice to travellers that are 18 to 67 years of age. Don't tell Centrelink you're going for a start. Don't hook into Centrelink for anything while you're there, because you could end up trapped on the cashless debit card. And unless you know your rights and you know what you're doing and you can prove it. I mean, these people are 68 and 65 years of age. They've been around the world quite a bit, you know what I mean? And they were lucky that they've managed to get out of this. They managed to get off of it, right? But straight away, I've also notified, because in our messages, I know where they originate from, and I've already been on to a senator as well and directed them to 2 senators, because there's going to be more of this. We've seen it with the Aboriginal populations that live on communities that don't have the card, and because of their CDP requirements, whenever they come out of their towns and they go to another town that is a card area, when they go in, they've got to check in with Centrelink. They end up put it on the card. And it's you know, it's a constant battle with people who don't recognise the legislation, are breaking the law. Centrelink staff are breaking the law, right? The legislation is quite clear. Someone who is a non-resident of your town is exempt. Someone who is of no fixed abode is exempt, right? Right here, in regards to Cape York, right, and the Northern Territory, temporary residents, a temporary resident such as visitors, people in rehab, are not placed on cashless debit card, right? Simple as that. Temporary people who are just visiting, right? Yeah, it's ridiculous. So there's your update. Good luck to the Northern Territory with their tourism with the oldies, because there's a lot of people that are under pension age, that are on benefits, that are travelling this country, that are living in caravans. They're grey nomads. They're living on disability support pensions, job seekers with exemptions, whatever, and they're moseying around the country. They could end up on cards if they don't know what's going on. So this is disgusting, and it needs to be made very loud, very loud. The grey nomads under 67 are at risk of being put on cards just for visiting a card area, because somebody can't read the legislation, and the minute they hook into Centrelink, ding, 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 all of a sudden, get that letter. Get that letter. All right, the difference with the Northern Territory, the letter that these people have been sent, was that their money was going to be income managed to 50%, because the basics card in the Northern Territory and the transition to the cashless debit card is 50%. Right, that in itself is illegal, because the rest of everybody else out here is on 80% restriction. You know, the card has to go. It has to go. I mean, when you stop people from travelling the country, you stop people from being able to move freely. So, because that's like, now I could be turning around and saying, right, don't go to the Northern Territory. All that tourism, all those lovely places that people want to visit, you know what I mean? You're going to risk it if you're going to end up on a cashless debit card? No, you're not going to risk it. The goldfields. What if you wanted to go down there for a holiday for a little while and go prospecting or do something like that? Or, I don't know, whatever other things that happens in the goldfields, you know what I mean? Where people might like to visit. Right? They're buggering everything up. Now, we have to rely on local tourism, where local people, Australians, can go places freely, right? And you're threatening the people who can do this, the nomadic community that's out there, that's trying to support your local communities, going up to Cape York and all up the top end there on holidays or whatever they're doing. Do you know what I mean? No, not good enough. I mean, Hervey Bay to Bundaberg is another holiday region where a lot of grey nomads come. You know what I mean? It's like lots of dollars, lots of tourist dollars could be lost here. Thank you, Keith Pitt. Thank you, Ian Truss, you know, and all the rest of them that love this trap. Meanwhile, you stop it, you know, this could shut down people moving around freely. Not on. And it's all right saying, oh, but you're exempt, and there's the thing saying that you're exempt, but it doesn't matter. You've already sent the letter out to the person telling them that they're going to be income managed, right? And that what's going to happen with their income. You know, I'm writing to you about income management and what it means for you. Your payments will not reduce, but the way that you will receive them will change. Do you know what I mean? 50% of your fortnightly payments and 100% of advances and lump sum payments will be used to pay for things your family like rent, food and clothing, but you can't access that money, you know. You know, it's like, this was an income management letter, right? I'm not sure. It's a little bit different to the cashless debit card letter, but, you know, why would they be putting this person on? And this is because the person is over 25 years of age and been receiving a Centrelink payment for 12 months out of the last 2 years. Okay? The person that they actually just tried to put on it is 65 years of age, by the way. Yes. And we already have a lady that they put back on the card in Sedona at 65 years of age. How cruel is that, eh? She managed to get her off on an exemption for the last couple of years, and then they put her back on it at 65 years of age. She'll never get off it. But this is ridiculous. The legislation is clear. It's law. It's one of the reasons why we can't do this class action and stuff like that, because the legislation is in law. But they're choosing to ignore it, or they're not training staff to pick it up. You know, that somebody who is only visiting a region or staying for a little while is not a permanent resident of that region is exempt. But they're ignoring it. And I can tell you now, they've trapped hundreds and hundreds of First Nations peoples on country onto cards they can't use. They can't use them in their community stores. They can't use them in the outback. Right? They've done this to a lot of people. So this is why I'm putting it out there. And I'm putting a rocket. Tourism Australia is at stake here, because we have a lot of people travelling. A lot of people who are legally allowed to travel and claim their social security payments just like everybody else can. And the freedom of movement. And we don't have any international tourism at the moment because of the pandemic, right? And what are they trying to do? Shut us all down so you can't move out of your town at all, because that's basically what it is. It's ridiculous, and it drives me nuts. This card, Chris, thank you for letting me know about it, mate, because we've got to speak up when this sort of thing happens. We've got a lot of people in the older generation who just don't have a clue what this card's about, what being income managed is, and it's forced income managed, right? And they don't realise, you know. Susan says here, maybe travellers should carry that copy of the particular part of the legislation, you know, to have work papers, etc., to move around the country. It's getting ridiculous. You know, it is, and they're putting people on the card outside of regions in all sorts of odd places, and they've got people stuck in places where they can't even do shopping. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Get it out there, share this video, right? Because if you're traveling around this country, basically you're looking East Kimberley, the goldfields, the whole goldfields, right? Now the whole Northern Territory, the whole Cape York, the whole, basically the Wide Bay, the Hervey Bay, all the way up to Bundaberg region, Fraser Coast, right? All of the touristy regions, this impacts. Yeah, so anyway, I'm not understanding Miles Patterson's comment there. You can't use eBay on the card anyway. That's banned. You can't use PayPal. That's banned. Okay. You can't catch a bus where we're on the card. That's banned. They just don't take the card. Anyway, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.